Blog Talk Radio.
Hello and welcome to Variety Radio Online. Tonight we are here to talk about the season premiere of The Walking Dead. It is back. I'm excited. For me, it's a bittersweet. Last season, season 4, we recapped with my dad.
Season 3.
Yeah, season 3, we recapped with my dad, and he loved the show. I think he loved it more than he loved his children, to be honest with you. If you are a listener of Variety Radio Online, you know my dad passed away this year. So tonight's show is in memory of him. And just both me and Amber know my dad very well, and he would have thought last night's episode sucked.
He definitely would have been a little upset.
He would have. But taking my dad's place is going to be Mike tonight, and we're waiting for Mike to call in. He likes to Skype in, so as soon as Skype shows up at the very top, he will Skype in, and I'm actually going to send him a message just in case he forgot.
I almost didn't call in because I was in the middle of filling out a study guide and studying for a test, and I forgot to look at the time, and I had just said to Chloe, I was like, I have a show at 10, and I wasn't even watching. I'm on like the 12th page of the study guide, so I'm pretty tired at this point.
Okay, Mike just entered the chat room, so he will be calling in shortly. Now, yeah, I love how Amber is going to take a break to talk about The Walking Dead when she should be studying and getting.
I do need a break, though. I've been doing this since 5 o'clock. So,
oh, yeah, definitely well-deserved break then.
Yeah, I need a break. I'm pretty tired. I tried to watch 2 shows while I was doing my study guide, but I honestly couldn't tell you what happened on either one of those shows because I wasn't really paying attention, so I'll probably have to go back and rewatch them.
Okay, well, we have Mike on the line now. Hi, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
I think Mike's the only one that's kind of excited about this episode.
Whoa! Do not even get this started in that direction. This episode of The Walking Dead, 30 Days Without Accident, was awesome!
See, I wasn't a big fan of it. I'll tell you one. Oh. I think that if The Talking Dead would have come on first, and some of the questions that I had during the episode would have been answered during the episode, I might not have thought it was so bad. But I hate when they start the season off and they don't tell you how much time has been in between seasons, because it gets really annoying to me. Because I'm like, what the fuck is going on? First of all, like, what do you mean where did they require a horse at? I mean, what's going on? Like, what? Yeah, so it's really annoying to me.
I can't believe that you allow that to ruin your evening.
I do allow it because I get so attached to the storyline and so attached to, like, what's going on that I think, like, way into it. And it bothers me. I mean, like, just at the beginning when that nerdy little boy met Daryl, I was like, how has he not met Daryl yet? Like, how many people are at this camp?
Well,
like, is it some secret society where, like, the council doesn't come out except for on Sundays? I mean, what's going on?
No. I think when Patrick wanted to meet Daryl, I don't think that was his first time. I think that was his actual first time.
They said, did you watch, okay, you know how, after the episode they show you pictures with, like, little quotes and stuff? They said that was the first time that he had met him. And that's why they said, because Daryl's part of the council now, that they wanted it to be like somebody meeting a rock star for the first time. That's how they wanted it to be like.
Well, yeah, I mean,
he's been out, he's been hunting, tracking, all that stuff. So yeah, it might be the first time that he met him.
It's just weird. I don't know. This is
he's probably seen him from afar, but he's not really walked up to him and introduced himself. Okay. Before I
have things about the episode that I really like. I have things about the episode that I really don't like. So, I mean, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about first, Mike.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I was like, who took the notes? And let's go by the notes. And also, Mike has some email questions that we need to get to.
Yeah, but basically what I do is I open up the phone line, well, not the phone lines, my email, and after I watched the show, I kind of asked the internet, my friends on Facebook and Twitter, what they thought of the episode. And a couple of people emailed and voiced their opinion. So I figured I'd read those, and then you guys can make comments to see, what you think. If you think they're right, if they're going in the right direction or what, I mean, that's the whole cool thing about this recap show, this podcast, is that everybody has great opinions, and you never know what's going to happen.
Exactly. So, and then later on during the season, we might actually open the phone line for those people to call in.
Cool, got it. So one of the emails I got was from my friend Jenny Fly from jennyflyblog.com, and she had a comment. She said, "I love Rick and Daryl. What's up with the sick pig and sick kid? And Carl looks like he's going to be a little fucking shit. Oh, okay. And the zombie's eyes are getting weird." There you go.
Zombies' eyes are getting weird. I'm going to agree with that because they focused on that a couple of times in the episode. So they answered that question because I said the same thing when Rick came back and you saw that the pig was dead. You noticed that the pig was like very veiny, like it shouldn't have been like that decomposed when it had just died. Like, it should just be looking like it was sleeping. So they answered it and said that the virus is now airborne.
Well, so they think it's airborne. I'm assuming you watched The Talking Dead, so you.
I watched some of it. I watched some of it. Chris Hardwick. I can't.
Whoa!
Amber! Are you serious? Okay, I can't. Okay, hold on a minute. Amber's never been to Comic-Con, so let's just put that out there. Oh my God, no! Chris Hardwick is a god.
I'm not saying he's
so
a bad person. I'm not saying he's a bad person or whatever. It's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. Look, one person cannot like it, okay? He's not a saint, all right? Anyways, so they say something about they think it's airborne. So obviously, I think that it's affecting different people as far as what they're eating, because obviously they're eating sick animals. So it has to be in the food supply at somewhere.
Some people think that. I mean, if you noticed in the beginning of this episode when Rick notices the prison, the zombie on the other side of the prisoner wall, he had previously had blood come out of his eyes, all his mouth, his ears, and everything else. If you noticed, when Rick comes back at the end of the episode, he's still looking at the same guy, and when Patrick dies, he also has the blood in the eyes and everything else.
Right.
So, you're absolutely right. I mean, and I think some of these emails here that I got, some people think it's something in the food. Some people think it's airborne. I think it's something to do with something in the air. I think that some people, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
I think well, first of all, I've been a vegetarian for almost 6 years, so even in a zombie apocalypse, I would not eat meat. But definitely in a zombie apocalypse, I would not eat meat. That is the last thing that I would go after, is I would not trust that if something affected me, that it would not affect someone, something else, another creature. So I definitely would not eat. I'd be robbing Chinese restaurants and getting bags of rice. That's what I would be doing. That's what I'm saying, okay?
Yeah.
That's the kind of diet that I would be on in the zombie apocalypse. I'm just saying it's not a trustworthy source now. It's definitely not a trustworthy source in the zombie apocalypse, let's be honest. Who knows what kind of water they've been drinking?
That's what I was going to say, the water. It's the water, because it's the water.
You think it's the water?
Right.
I think
but the animals are drinking, right, because they definitely emphasized on the water when he started to get sick, because he went over to the shower, he was standing right over the water source, he was coughing all in it and shit, and then he turned on the shower, and then he fell and died. So he definitely, I don't know that he infected all the water that they had in there, but he definitely infected that bucket of water. So I definitely think that, obviously there's probably zombies in water sources everywhere. So I'm sure that as they start to decompose or whatever, that, that the virus is leaking into the water system and whatever else. I mean, you remember back in season 2, when the zombies split in half when they were trying to get water out of the well?
Right.
And then the water was completely ruined, and they couldn't, they didn't trust it after that point and wasn't going to drink it, which, I mean, is disgusting anyways, but they weren't going to drink it. So at this point, I don't know if they're going to explain why it's taking longer to affect the animals.
We'll have to see in the next episode. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because it does seem like it has taken longer for that to happen, for the infection to reach animals. But I think at this point, You know, in most zombie movies and stuff, and this is one thing that The Walking Dead did different, in most zombie movies, zombies don't pay attention to animals at all.
Right.
And on The Walking Dead, I mean, the fucking walkers will eat whatever they can get their hands on. So as long as it's alive and got a beating heart, then they'll pretty much eat it. So.
All right. Coolio. I got another email here. This one's coming from Patty from Houston. She said, tonight's episode was a little slow, but I know for a fact it's going to be a kick-ass season, or else my Sunday nights will be a total bore. So that's somebody
I agree with her.
That, felt that it was kind of slow.
I agree. It was kind of slow.
And, you guys aren't the only ones, because, this is the only show that I watch live, and this is the only show. I mean, I tweet during a lot of shows, but I watch the Twitter feed, and I'm always tweeting. And, a lot of people were bored, and, I was very surprised. But I think some people thought season premiere, zombie, let's, gore and crazy. But I thought it did really well, so I don't know.
Well, I think that one of the things to pay attention to, especially in this coming season, which I live here, so I have a little bit of spoiler insight I'm going to give everybody at the end,
right.
based on the previews for the coming up season. I'm going to give everybody a little bit of an insight to what's happening. I will say that I definitely think it's going to be action-packed, but I also think that if you've been looking at the press, if you've been reading a lot of the interviews, one of the things that a lot of the cast members have been saying, and that a lot of the executive producers and stuff have been saying, is that the show is becoming less about the walkers and more about survival.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think we're going to see. I mean, there's still going to be obviously there's still going to be walkers. There's still going to be stuff going on, but I don't think it's going to be as dominant as it has been in the past seasons, because now they're introducing all these new characters. They're showing us that they can sustain life, that they're starting to survive. I mean, the governor is still out there, and he's obviously more dangerous than any of the walkers out there. So I think that this season is going to be action-packed, but it's going to be a different kind of action than what we've seen in the past seasons.
Oh, yeah, and I think in the episode of Talking Dead, I think they talked about how this season was going to be a lot of character development. We were going to see the more in-depth stories of some of the cast, maybe. And, and for me, I'm excited. I want to know what Daryl did. I want to know what Herschel, Herschel was badass when he had the guns. What kind of person was he? So I'm looking forward to the stories. And as long as we have a couple of zombie attacks, I'll be happy.
I agree.
Let's see here. This one here. This one is from DJ Wicked, a friend of mine here. And he wrote, I like the episode. It showed how Rick could have turned out if he or his son didn't come back, in parentheses, crazy lady in the woods. Storytelling was actually good in my eyes and not corrupting a child's youth. In their world, they really can't be kids because of constant death always are surrounding them. When she is teaching them survivor skills, I actually thought it was good because the kids could help when the adults get into a bind. The way the nerdy storytelling kid got infected, I actually have two theories for that one. One, there was a scene when he was thanking Daryl for the deer, and before they shook hands, Daryl actually licked all his fingers prior to. Another one is that maybe the arrow that Daryl used to kill the deer wasn't clean from the last time he shot a zombie. The kid probably ate the contaminated part and got infected. Then they show someone feeding the zombies rats and could possibly throw both these theories out the window. So he thinks, overall, he thinks it's kind of contaminated food also, could be.
That's
First
a good
of all,
theory
I like
about...
this guy. I like this guy. Yeah, I was going to say, that's a good theory. I like this guy because he goes beyond our thinking, beyond, what the show wants to see. I don't even know if the show's ever going to explain it because now the kid's dead, so there may not be a way to figure it out. As long as they have a medical facility to figure these kinds of things out, they might not ever explain it. It may be up to our own theories until something else similar happens later in the season. Then we're like, oh, that's probably what happened to that kid in episode 1. Because that's actually... a really good, I don't know about the licking fingers. I think Daryl did that just to be an asshole. I think he's just I think he's just doing it to be funny.
Oh, yeah, he definitely did it to be funny. Because I think Daryl...
that is a good theory also. I mean, it's still a good theory because they focused in on the fingers.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, I think this whole... I think that Daryl licking his finger, I agree. I think he was meaning just to be a little shit, and just the fact of just play this fun thing about... being the popular one now, just like What's-Her-Face said, that, her little comment, I liked you first, and, with all the stuff that you're doing, you're going to have to accept. yeah, you're gonna have to accept some of the love and everything else. So I think he was having fun with it, and to see if this guy actually shook his hand. So I don't know. I seriously doubt Daryl had the cooties. I don't think Daryl got him sick. That's just me.
I don't think Daryl got him sick either, because if Daryl got him sick, then they would have all already gotten themselves sick.
Yes, and
at some point, because they've all had. I mean, you remember season 1? They poured the guts all over their body to walk through them. So I mean, at some point they would have gotten themselves sick if that was the point. So
and then if it's like
Arrow
Liva
and the meat
now,
is a really good.
Go ahead. What?
If it's like Liva now, then Maggie and Glenn and Beth and all of them would be sick too.
Oh yeah, everybody would. I mean, everybody.
Yeah, everybody would. Everybody that's killed a zombie would be sick, definitely.
So here we go. This one is from Carlos. He wrote, "Loved the last night's episode! Explanation point! Explanation point! Explanation point! It was everything that makes a Walking Dead awesome as it is. I like that Carl was getting back to normal and Herschel got a leg. Explanation point! Explanation point! Explanation point! Explanation. That was one of my things that my wife pointed out. Is when Herschel was walking, she was like, "Whoa! How did he get a leg? Where's his crutches at?" I'm sure he made something, I'm sure he.
They said that they said I can't remember if it was on the pictures or on the Talking Dead. They said that they found a prosthetic leg on a run.
There you go. There you go.
And I was like, they just happened to find one that fit them. Wow, that's nice.
Hey.
But yeah, they said that for the scene where he's bending down, there's a scene where he's bending down and he's talking to Rick. I think he's talking to Rick, and you could see the metal part on his foot. They said that they had to bury his actual leg for that scene. So they buried his leg and then had the prosthetic. So that was kind of cool. But I'm sure, honestly, like, Scott Wilson is amazing, like one of the most amazing people ever. But I'm sure as an older actor, this is probably a lot easier for him to not have to walk around on crutches all the time and do things. I'm sure as part of that is part of the reason why they kind of built that into the story. But I mean, it makes sense because it makes sense that they would look for something like that while they're out looking for other things. So
yeah. So he says that, and Herschel got a leg. Don't like that it's only an hour long. I think whatever infects humans that turns them into zombies is going to start infecting the animals. Well, that's what I'm expecting. P.S. Team Daryl Dixon. No homo.
I'm definitely expecting the animal things. Definitely. Like, the scene where he runs into the lady in the woods and the boar's there, was the boar sick or had the boar been shot? Or had she, it didn't show like anybody taking the boar down.
Yeah, I thought
the boar was it was like swollen. So
I think it was just a boar. I don't think it was like swollen, but I definitely think that it was sick or it was something. It was something, and then you see Rick didn't go back and get it.
No, I thought Rick actually. I thought it was one of the animals that got trapped in the snares. That's what I thought. And when Rick he was walking to go to it, and then all of a sudden, that's when he was walking towards it, and that's when what's her face came out of nowhere, and that's when he turned around and hid behind the tree, and then he kind of turned away and kind of walked away, and that's when she called for him. And I thought he had snared it, but I could be wrong. I thought she was awesome. I loved her.
Yeah, I liked her too.
Whoever she was, she did an outstanding job in my opinion.
Exactly.
One last email. This one was titled Zombies. Zombies everywhere. I love it. I was so anxious for the season to start. It's everything I expected. This is coming from Johnny from Houston. The question is, how is the virus getting around now? I noticed that just the pigs seem to be getting infected, not any other animals, not including humans. How will they adapt to this? Should be an amazing season. We need an old Rick back, ruthless Rick, the trust no one Rick, if they expect to survive. Everyone seems to be settled with what's going on and trying to adapt with the situation, and that's a big mistake. With the exception of Carl Pelletier. I don't know what he's saying there, Carl, whatever. She seems to be Carol. Oh, Carol, what's her last name? Pelletier? Maybe that's what he's thinking?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Carol something. She seems to be the only one with the right mentality, as in showing the children how to protect themselves against walkers. Death to all Walker and anyone affiliated with them. Exclamation point times 4. Stay in survival mode, my friends. So ready for the next episode. Expect and inevitable. Well, I don't know what he's trying to type there. Amount of walkers seeing as the prison population is growing. So it's basically now a hummingbird feeder for walkers. Kill or be killed. Tell Jenny Fly hi for me, bro. Ha. Oh, I guess you
love connection. Okay,
Perhaps.
real quick. Are we wait, real quick. Are we forgetting that the virus is already in everyone?
No, we're not forgetting that.
Hell no, I already know it's in that level.
Okay,
No,
so
we're not forgetting that. And I'm pretty sure that the girl knew that. I'm pretty sure that the girl in the woods knew that because she asked Rick not to kill her. She said, let me be with him this way. So I'm pretty sure that she knew when she died.
She knows they come back. I mean, that's how I took it. She knew that.
Yeah, she knew.
You know, yeah.
She knew she had it. She knew she was coming back as a zombie no matter what. Like, she didn't have to get bit, like, whatever. She knew that, that was going to happen. And I thought it was pretty dignified of Rick to let her do it.
So we already know that the zombie virus is in everyone. So now we're just trying to figure out which virus is automatically killing these people. Now, I think the nerdy kid died when he hit his head. I think he just had, like, the flu, and he slipped in the bathroom, and he killed himself.
What?
I don't think so.
Wait,
I definitely think it's something, definitely something he ate.
I think it's something airborne. I think it's another strand. I think it's something else is kind of mutated. Unless
it's the swine flu.
Well, you know what? I mean, unless we see something like y'all were saying about that, we see something in a future show that kind of takes back, and then we go, oh. But as of right now, I mean, I think a lot more people would be infected because I'm sure they've been eating off the deer. I'm sure there's more people there. So Patrick was a special case. So I don't know if people, you never know. I mean, and I don't know how they're going to find out with no CDC there. But I don't know. I think it's something in air. I think.
I think I'm going to go with you on that. I think that honestly, I think that we should really think far away from the virus, and it could be a million possibilities of anything. Because, like you said, there is no CDC, there is no medicine, there's no vaccination for things. I mean, God only knows the kind of diseases that are. I mean, I don't know if you guys know a lot about the CDC, but there's some scary ass shit there. So God only knows the kind of things that are not being protected against anymore. And so, I mean, we know that when people die, they turn into walkers, but it doesn't mean that it's a form of the zombie virus that's killing them. It could be absolutely anything. It could be any kind of illness that's spreading, and there's no way to tell. I mean, obviously it is something similar because, like you said, they kind of played on the eyes. They showed us that they bleed from the eyes and whatever else. But it is the same thing that's getting other people, but it's not affecting everybody. It's only affecting certain animals. It's like, kind of like any virus would.
Right.
But not all viruses, affect people or affect animals and everything the same. So I think that it's a strain of something, but I'm not convinced that it's necessarily has to do with the Walker virus, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's it for the emails. So I don't know where you guys want to. I know we've been kind of going and talking about a bunch of different things. I don't know where you want to start off at.
Well, I would like to say real quick, Michael, if you're listening, Jagger, friend of ours, used to host with us. He killed my favorite actor. He's the zombie that ate Beaver from Veronica Mars. The guy that was trying to, I think his name was, I don't remember his name. He was the one that's trying to guess Daryl, what Daryl did for a living.
Oh, Zach, that was Beth's boyfriend.
Yeah,
Beth's boyfriend.
He was also in Red State. That's where I knew him from. And then, what did you say you knew him from? Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mars.
Yeah.
Yes, he's in that too.
It's good that he died because he was trying to mess with my Beth. She's like I tweeted out. She's like my little sister, and
but
I'm glad
he needs someone. I mean, they're trying to, at first it was her and Carl.
He wasn't right. He wasn't right.
No, I think Carl's not right for her. But yeah,
Carl,
Michael, I'm upset with you for biting him. That's all I have to say.
Remember, Carl was a bigger man than ever than Zach. He had bigger balls. He had guns.
And another thing I wanted to talk about was Tyson and his wife they're both alive, which kind of confused me because he's kissing this girl at the gate. And
that's not his wife, that's his sister.
They're not husband and wife.
That's his sister.
So all season last year I thought it was his wife.
Yeah, that's definitely his sister.
Yeah. And it's Tyrese.
Whoa, Amy, whoa. I mean, they're getting desperate, but I don't think they're getting that desperate.
This whole time, Amy's been like, brother, wife, cheater. No. Yeah, they're.
Yeah, you're not having an affair in that close to quarters.
Yeah.
Okay, well, while we're on the subject of Carl, because you brought up Carl.
Yeah.
While you're talking about Carl, I don't understand why Carl got so upset when he found Carol. Because I think, Ulbrich, when one of the emails mentioned Ulbrich, Ulbrich would be behind Carol 100% in what she's doing. Because look at what he did to Carl. He taught Carl. He taught Carl how to use a gun, how to carry a gun, how to whatever. I mean, he went and did all that. And the thing is like, there is no childhood. That shit's out the window. I mean, we're not going to Disney World. Like, that's not happening.
That's probably why it affected
life is survival. Life is survival. That's all life is for these people. And damn right they need to learn how to protect themselves.
I think the reason, in my opinion, on why Carl got upset is that Carl believes that when Rick's not there, he's running the place. And I think that he really thinks that he can do it. So by him seeing that, he has to show that he didn't, my dad's not here and I don't prove it and I'm going to go tell my dad. But we don't even know. He could decide at the last minute. I mean, we saw him run out, but we don't know if he went to go tell him. But I think it's just for the fact that Carl thinks that, I'm running the show. I'm Rick's son, and
or he just really wanted story time.
Or he really wanted story time and was really upset and looking forward to Dr. Seuss
and all the kids. He's been with these children, and even the nerdy dude died. I can't even remember his name now. But none of them told him that okay, this is what we're doing there.
Right.
So he probably got upset about that too.
Well, yeah, but none of the kids are. I mean, and you're absolutely right. I mean, some of the kids probably thought, he's Rick's son, and he'll probably tell on us. So let's not invite him. Let's not tell him anything. So I don't know. I think I like Carl. I know that some people are not liking Carl. Some of my friends, I'm liking where Carl is right now. So I mean, last season he was a little psychotic, but I'm kind of glad that this season he's a little grounded in my eyes.
I mean, last season he definitely was a little psychotic, but he had every right to be a little psychotic last season. And I kind of understand it. I don't know how some of them just haven't gone completely batshit insane, period.
Right.
So I can understand. I understand. I don't dislike Carl too much. I think I dislike Carl more when Lori was around. And now that she's gone, and Carl can kind of do his own thing without, mommy up his ass all the time, then I think that he's actually developing into
How was mommy up his ass all the time? Because she could never find it.
Because she could never find it, but when she did, it was like, oh, let me play the mothery role, and I'm going to get on your nerves for the next 20 minutes. So,
hey, she was just trying to make sure. I hated Lori since day one. I hated her in the comics. I hated her in episode 1. But she was being a mom, making sure her son didn't get eaten by a zombie. She was a little overprotective. That's my opinion. Yeah, I know. So let's see. Let me see. I'm looking at my notes, and I know I'm kind of following where we've been talking, what we've covered. The next big scene. What did y'all think about Bob, this guy that pretty much asks Sasha to go on the run, and pretty much because of his alcoholism, has to pretty much set off a chain reaction of zombies coming out of the ceiling.
Well,
what do you think of Bob?
Okay, well, first of all, they show up at a Big Lots. So it's supposed to be a Big Lots, just for those of you who don't know anything about the South. And it had an army base set up where obviously the military had been there, but the store was completely intact and had not been raided at all. All the wine bottles were completely straight. There were beer cans everywhere. No, I'm dead serious. I was like, how is this store not in shambles? How did they find this store? How did the governor not already find this store? No, I'm being dead serious. Because they have shown them raid places before. There's nothing left. And this place had everything they needed. I would have moved in there.
You
I
know
mean,
what?
that place had everything they needed.
Maybe it was just like a nugget. What do you call it? A diamond in the rough. It was just one of those things because he said that the military had set up shop there. You never know. The military set up shop there. They had it organized. They could have said nobody drinking alcohol. Blah blah blah. All we saw was the
Alcohol would have been the first thing that I grabbed.
I know you would have, and you would have been dead 24 hours later.
Yep.
Alcohol would have been the first thing I grabbed. You know what? I'm in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. I can sit and have a beer. Y'all need to calm down. Like, because it's been rough. Y'all need to calm down. Let me have my warm water 420, okay?
One of those high-strung survivors. Yeah, I would definitely have to take you out. I'd be like, hey, follow me outside. There.
No, I wouldn't be high-strung if you guys would let me have a beer.
So let me. So what do you think? Do you think Bob is going to be a returning cast? Do you think he's going to get eaten in the next season, next episode? What do you think? I mean, he seems like he has a drinking problem. That's for one.
He's shady. There's something besides the drinking problem. There's something else about him that does not sit right with me.
Right. No, I know. I
don't think that he's shady. I think that it's a simple drinking problem, and I think that it's gonna, for one, I mean, the only type of really mental instability that we've seen was from the guy that Rick was on the walkie-talkie with. What was his name? Because that was like the best episode last season. What was his name?
I can't remember.
Hawkins?
No, it was God, what is that?
That was his Jericho name.
It was like Morris or
I can't remember.
I can't remember his name either. It was one of the best seasons. It was one of the best episodes of the whole season. But Morgan. Okay.
Morgan.
So Morgan was one of the only mental instability people we had seen, like somebody that had like really just gone crazy and was not really in tune with reality. I mean, he was and he wasn't. I mean, obviously he was like over prepared. You know what I mean? He had all that stuff. He was going like absolutely crazy. So I think that this guy is another person that just is not able to deal with any of this. Like, who knows what some of these people, what problems they had beforehand. What if he was clinically depressed and hasn't been on his antidepressants and now he turns to alcohol? I mean, you don't know what these people's lives were before. And I think that he really is just an alcoholic. I don't think he's shady. I just think that he doesn't know how to deal with this apocalypse, and that's how he deals with it. And I think that he's just probably a little mentally unstable.
Jesus, hey, it's amazing, and this is why I like podcasts, and because you went into a real in depth on this guy. Me, I think I'm with Amy. I think this dude is just shady. I think he's shady from the beginning. Even when he was laying down in the bed after all that crap happened, and then you hear Patrick you can hear crap going on in the shower thing. He kind of opened. He just seems like he's like a little spy. I think he's like a little sneaky little spy. And I'm hoping. I have my fingers crossed that Patrick wakes up and Bob is the first person he eats, because if it wouldn't have been for that, Beth would still have a boyfriend and they could have gotten more crap from the thing. But Bob needs to go. I think he's not good for the camp. I don't think so.
He really did set a chain reaction that messed up. I mean, that really was a diamond in the rough. I mean, that really was. They could have gotten a lot of things that they needed. I mean, they could have had chicken marsala, pork marsala, or whatever, because they had some wine in there they could have cooked with. I mean, that could have been a treat. They could have really gotten some nice stuff out of the store. He really did mess things up. I'm not going to disagree with you.
Did you just say chicken parmesan?
I said chicken marsala, and then I said pork marsala because they don't have chicken. So.
All right. Jesus. Like, she's watching it, Amy. She's watching the episode. She's like, oh, I would have made that right there. I would have got some linguine.
I would have, but I would have. I'm just saying that there was.
It would.
I wouldn't have done that. But I'm just saying, like, that was a diamond in the rough. Like, there really was, like, a lot of things that they could have done. I mean, even the alcohol could come in handy for medical purposes as well. Cuts, wounds, I mean, things like that. And I'm just saying that, like, it really sucked that store got messed up, because I don't think they're going to find another one like that.
And you never know. He could be working with the governor. I mean,
he's shady.
I'm telling you, the dude's shady. He's shady. Let's see who else. Okay, so then after that episode there, and we deal with him, my girl Michonne comes riding in on a steed with her
on a horse they acquired. Like, so where the hell did they get the horse?
Where did they get the horse? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Farm in Macon.
Did you not see they have a bunch of horses there, and pigs and chickens?
Yeah, but I'm saying, where did they get the horse?
From a farm.
Where did they acquire these animals?
From a farm.
In Macon? What are you talking about? They haven't been to Macon?
How do you
I didn't
know?
say that. I didn't say they went there. No, she was going to go there.
That's what Amy just said.
No, but I mean, they could have found the horse. You know, I mean, let me tell you something. When I was in Costa Rica for vacation, there was just a horse. We stopped at this little store, okay? And we stopped at the store to get a soda, and I turn around, and there's just a horse just sitting there eating grass. And then I get in my bike, and I'm like, okay, we got on our four-wheeler, and we start riding some more, and all of a sudden, you see the horse just walking down the street, minding his own business. So
Exactly.
I mean, I guess
And
it's
here in
possible.
North Carolina, Amber, on the coast, we have the wild Mustang. So
I mean, I guess. I'm just saying, there's some answers to questions that I want answered. I want to see them acquiring the horse.
I can respect that. So definitely Michonne is still after the governor. I don't think she's going to stop doing that. And then we see her. She gets in there, and that's when Rick decides to go check out the snares. Him and Herschel are talking and everything else, and this is when Herschel brings up that the council, which consists of himself, Daryl, Glenn, Carol, and Sasha, all want Rick to start carrying his gun when he goes out. Now, do you guys, for them to tell him that to wear his gun, do you think that shows that Rick is still kind of unbalanced a little bit, do you think? Or do you think that Rick's so badass, all he needs is a knife and he doesn't need a gun? Because I found that weird.
It's a little bit of both. I think that he's still a little unstable, and I think that also the numbers are growing. It's not just 2 or 3 walkers outside of the fence. It's 30
Right.
or 40. So I think that it's a little bit of both. I think that there's probably a lack of trust because Rick did go crazy there for a minute.
Right.
And then also, he's extremely outnumbered. They're all extremely outnumbered. I mean, there's like an insane amount of them out there.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know where they're coming from, but
definitely.
Yeah.
Amy, any thoughts? You think he's still unbalanced, or you think he's just Rambo and he just needs a knife and that's it?
I think he's still unbalanced.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I just think he's just Rambo. Let's see here. And then once we see that, that's when Rick goes off, and then he finds that chick. He runs into that chick, Clara, in the forest.
Who was an
And-
amazing actress.
Yes.
the whole scene was brilliant.
Yeah, I thought she was really, really good in this. And that's when she meets him, and they're supposed to figure out how she's going to get over there with her husband back over to the camp. While that scene's going on, that is when we see Carl and Patrick. I know we kind of briefly talked about this when Carl and Patrick come up, and these little girls are naming the walkers, and Carl puts these little brats in check, and the little mean girl kind of says something to him.
He just did the exact same thing his father told him not to do. Don't name the animals. So Carl's saying that they're animals, and the girls are saying they're still human.
Yeah, because he was telling him not to name the pig because the pig was food.
But once again, it falls back that Carl, when Rick's not there, I'm the man in charge.
It does. It does fall back to that. It does fall
shows
back
that
to that.
he still thinks he's got, someone just, I think Rick just needs to pop him one time, put him in check, just to be like, just one time.
That's
and
your
get him.
elders.
Yeah, I think Carl's done. But personally, I mean, I know that Jenny Fly, we were talking about this on our podcast earlier today, and she thinks that he's just being a little shit. And me, I mean, as soon as that girl started talking smack to Carl, I tweeted out, shoot her. That was my thing. I didn't.
I think that he is kind of being a little shit, but I also think that he's been through more. We've seen him go through more than we've seen all these other characters go through.
Right.
Exactly, because
And-
all these other characters were in a compound. So they didn't
so we've
see
seen
the outside world.
we've seen Carl go through more. I mean, Carl had to shoot his own mother, for God's sakes. I mean, that's
that
just
could
about
be-
the worst thing that could happen to anybody. And I mean, he's not only thinking about himself at this point. He's got a baby sister that he's trying to protect. I mean, he's I just think that he's trying to be more like Rick, but also trying to figure out who he is. And I mean, he is kind of between two. And we all went through, puberty and all that stuff. I mean, that stuff's like crazy years for you. And now you're like, you don't have anybody to talk to about it because you're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. So I think that, Carl has a right to be a little shit at times.
And he could just be doing this, too, to impress that girl.
That's true. He could be.
Or to impress the older kid that was with him, the kid with the glasses. He could have done it to try to impress him, too.
Chat room said,
So-
bottom line, Carl, a beast.
Carl what?
Bottom line, Carl's a beast. Oh, that's DJ. That's DJ Johnny G. He actually tweeted out saying that he loves the show. So he jumped in the chat room. So bottom line, Carl's a beast. That is what he feels.
And bottom line, Carl's essential to the show and essential to the comics, and he's not going anywhere. So love him or hate him, he's not going anywhere.
I love him.
Definitely. I think he...
Even his little smart aleck remarks, and I think he needs to be spanked by Daddy now and then. I still love him.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Let's see here. So then we get into the goes back into the helicopter, into their big, what's it called, the Big Lots? Is that what we're talking about?
And the helicopter falls through the roof.
What did you think? One thing that I wanted to point out in this first episode, I don't know if you guys felt the same way, but I felt that the zombies looked a lot cooler. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's just the zombies have stepped up a notch or anything like that. But
they look more human.
Yeah, I like how they're looking. You know, I like how they're looking, and definitely the creativeness of having those zombies come through the ceiling when that zombie gets his guts hooked up on his
Oh my God, it's so cool.
That was awesome.
It was really cool. I think too that we also had to remember. I think they said that they answered it in Talking Dead. They said it had been like 7 months since the season finale last year. But also, if you remember last year, I don't know if you listened to our interview, but when we interviewed Glenn Mazzara, he explained the zombies being kind of dormant.
Right.
And they just kind of stand there until activity comes around or whatever. So those zombies on the roof have probably just been standing there for months doing nothing. Because obviously there's not people on the roof. There's not people around. And obviously that store hasn't been raided because, like we said, it's like a diamond in the rough. Like, I mean, It was a really nice store. So people hadn't been around there. So those zombies did kind of look more human-like. But there's also a lot of more decomposing happening. You can tell.
And something I've noticed, Amber, I'm surprised how you look at everything through a microscope. I'm very surprised you didn't say, how did those zombies get on top of the ceiling anyways?
From that helicopter.
Yeah, I'm assuming from the helicopter, yeah.
So you think all those people were in that helicopter?
I mean, I guess. Maybe, that could have been a rescue spot.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is that helicopter was one of the helicopters that Rick seen in Season 1 that was transferring people to safety, and then it crashed.
Hey, good call.
Okay.
It was probably transferring people to where the military set up that little base camp for everyone.
Okay. I'm just, I was wondering, I was like, I wonder how they got up there. But it has to be from the helicopter. I mean, they didn't show any stairs or anything like that.
They didn't show, they didn't show. I didn't see anything like that either.
So let's see here. So then we get through the helicopter scene and the Big Lots and everything's going crazy, and then we switch back over to Rick and Clara, who Clara is finally convinced Rick to come to the camp, and so she can help her husband, which we find out that her husband's head is in a bag. He's dead the whole time, and she actually thinks that she actually thinks that she's gonna take out Rick, which I was very surprised. Yeah, and that doesn't happen. And I know that we talked about it earlier. Your guys are kind of glad that, she killed herself. But not glad that she killed herself, but when she killed herself, Rick gave her last wishes to allow her to be a zombie. Now, my question to you two, do you think Clara, is that the last we've seen her? Do you think that Clara is going to turn into a zombie and come back and kind of, haunt? Look what happened to, what's his face, the old man? Dale?
Yeah.
Carl killed the zombie daughter. Will Clara come back?
Yeah, it's going to come back and bite Rick in the face or in the ass, and it's probably going to kill Beth.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the scene was done.
Okay.
I don't think so. First of all, that's like a high-paid actor, so they would have to. That's a lot of money for them to do that, and they would have to get a double to do it. I just don't think the show would spend that kind of money to expand that storyline. That's just my opinion.
He should have just cut off her head. Did he cut off her head? He should have cut her head off.
No, he didn't do anything. He didn't even wait for her to turn. He just left.
Yeah.
He should have cut her head off.
Now, real quick.
I love when he.
Real quick, I know that y'all talked about it, and maybe y'all know. I know that some of the people that are listening right now, I know that the girl Clara. Do you know what else she's been in? Because you mentioned that she's a high-paid actress that couldn't return.
She was the Yellow Galaxy Ranger for, like, the whole entire time the Power Rangers was on TV.
Oh, really?
Not the Yellow Ranger. She was the Galaxy Ranger. So you remember they had, like, the bad Power Rangers and then they had the good Power Rangers?
No, I only thought there was only one good ones.
Okay, you don't remember? You remember how Rita had her own Power Rangers that came out sometimes?
No.
Okay.
Did you watch the Power Rangers, Mike?
I watched the first set, like the black dude and the hot chick that was in pink, and then the guy in the green. Yeah, I watched.
Well, she was a Yellow Galaxy Ranger, so she was on Power Rangers for a really, really long time, and I'm sure that she's been in other stuff. I mean, I'm sure that she's been in other stuff. I just know that's where we know her from.
I know they were talking about her in The Talking Dead, that she's an incredible actress, and it was really cool to get her to play Clara. So I don't know. I guess I just wanted to point that out for some people that might have not known that.
And while we're talking about Clara, I think that when she says, "What were your 3 questions?" and Rick says, "How many people have you killed?" and she said, "Just myself," that I thought was one of the most brilliant scenes in this series. Period.
So do you think Rick felt bad when he heard that?
I definitely think that Rick felt bad when he heard that, but I also think that Rick completely understands where she's coming from.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that Rick related it to her on a level. I mean, obviously, you saw Rick. I mean, Rick loved Lori, but he treated her like crap, and then in the end, like, he wanted nothing more than to be with her, and it drove him insane.
She slept with Shane, and then she never took his side. She deserved all that crap she got from Rick.
I mean, I'm not saying that she didn't deserve it, but I mean, now she's dead, and he can't take any of that stuff back, and then he started going crazy and stuff. I'm just saying, I think that on some level, Rick related to her in a way that other people couldn't really relate to her. And I think that he felt bad. Like, he understood why she wanted to be with her husband, because he's wanted nothing more than to be with Lori since Lori's died.
Well, yeah, and I think you're right on that, because, of course, Rick and Herschel talk at the end, and he kind of tells her, how crazy she was and blah, 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 and then, Herschel says, and reminds him, I have in my notes, that you came back. So, yeah, Rick did go on the crazy train a little bit, but, he did stop seeing Carol up in Carol's ghost and all that good stuff and everything. So I think that
Lori's
was
ghost.
Yeah, Lori's ghost to that. It was good to, that he...
What was Rick carrying in the bucket when he got back at the end of the episode? You see, I worry about shit that doesn't even matter. What was in the bucket? I just want to know what's in the bucket.
I think it was just feed, maybe some weeds.
Okay.
I don't know. I saw him. But that's the difference.
I don't even remember a bucket.
He had a bucket of something. And maybe it was feed, because he looked over and noticed the pig was dead.
It was dead. Yes.
So maybe it was. Okay, so I want to talk about the preview for the rest of the season, and I also want to say something, but I don't want it to get me in trouble. I mean, I don't think it'll get me in trouble.
I don't know. Why are you getting excited? We haven't even finished the episode. Why are you doing that to us?
because we have 10 minutes.
No, I added a little more time.
You added some time? Okay, good. Let's keep going then. All right. I just want to make sure I get it in.
Because you guys are really talkative. You guys go into details, so I was like, okay, we're going to have to add some more time because our listeners want to hear this shit.
This is my show.
And I had already said that I would talk about it, so I just didn't want to. I didn't want to have to cut it short. Even though I'm a little worried about talking about it, but I'm probably just going to do it anyways. Okay, well, let's talk about that scene with Beth, since you like Beth so much.
And
that shit was weird.
And Amber, don't worry. We are going to get your point across, because DJ Johnny G did get in the chat room and said, just let it out. So I think he wants what is on your mind. So real quick, we'll just go through it real fast. I know that we get in through that whole thing. Do you think the 3 questions are cool to ask people? The whole, how many walkers have you killed?
I think they're kind of cheesy.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he was still trying to think of what to ask.
No, I think that he had his 3 questions ready. I just think that what I would like to know is, what are the appropriate answers? Like, what are the number? Like, what's the gauge to where, oh, well, I guess they meet my requirements? I mean, what? I don't.
Well, you know
I
what?
don't understand the questions.
During this episode, they do a quick little on Talking Dead. They show Chris Hardwick talking to Rick Lincoln. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about. The place Rick.
Lincoln.
Yeah, and they were talking about the 3 questions and what they meant, and then how is there a right answer? And Rick pretty much said what it comes down to, the right answer is what is going on that moment. you know, and how they're feeling. So basically, if I'm asking you that question, Amber, and I had a bad day, and I don't like the fact that you killed 4 people and one of them was a kid, but he was trying to eat you, you know, and if I decide to leave you there, then that's pretty much it. There's really no right or wrong answer. That's what I've learned. It's whatever.
What was the third question?
The what now?
What was the third question?
The first question is, how many walkers have you killed?
No, he said, how many walkers, how many people have you killed? What was the third one?
The third question is, why? So when you ask him how many...
He just said why.
3,
okay.
Yeah. And then why? Why did you kill them? I killed them because... And that's what... And remember, in this episode, that's when he was like, how many people have you killed? She said, just me. And he said, why? And she's like, because you can never... which makes that comment. God, what is it? Where's it in my notes? I wrote it down somewhere. Anyways, she mentioned something about... oh, man, I cannot... but she mentioned...
either.
Yeah, she mentioned something that you can't come back from what you've done or something. I have to keep reading my notes and see if I can come back to it. But basically,
she's basically just referencing the situation with her husband.
Right, pretty much. Let's see
and
here.
Then she just wanted to be with him. Okay.
That's when we go through. That's when we get into, of course, that we've already discussed the part where Carl enters the story time and sees Carol teaching the kids, which we all have our opinions on that. I think it's good. I think we all agree, right? It's good that the kids learn how to knife.
Yeah,
exactly.
I know there's some people out there that don't think. Let's see here, out in the prison yard, Carol finds.
Well, I want to go back to this Kara thing for a second. Because, okay, so let's go back to this for a second. She said to him, you know, like, don't kill me, whatever, like, let me be with him, whatever. Don't you think it would have been better for him just to kill them both so they really could be together? Depending on what you believe. I mean, he's seeing, like, the ghost of Lori, like, all this stuff going on. I mean, I wonder if Rick believes that there's an afterlife or not. I don't know where he is on religion or whatever, but it would have seemed more moral to... I think it's beautiful what he did. Don't get me wrong. Like, I do think it's beautiful what he did because I know that it was extremely hard for him not to turn around and shoot her in the head.
Right.
But also, part of me is like, why didn't he just put them both out of their misery?
But you know what? But I think you know, and I see what you're asking. And I think in the zombie apocalypse, I think, and this is my opinion, that the rules, certain things just get thrown out the window. And I think it was cool that he gave her wish. And I think that you know, I think in normal day life, I think maybe he probably would have put her out of her misery and you know and put him out. But I think, hey, this is what you want, zombie apocalypse. And I think it was kind of cool.
One more walker.
Yeah.
One more walker. Yeah.
I mean, you know, and you know, and I would have thought that maybe I was hoping he would have, if he would have killed Clara, I think it would have been cool I would have like said, okay, yeah, old Rick is there, because really I thought that he would have learned that the zombie that Carl didn't kill came back and killed Dale, you know, and if Carl would have killed him, that wouldn't have happened. Maybe he wasn't thinking about it. Maybe they, you know, these 30 days, whatever. There hasn't been an accident. They're kind of getting you know, kind of cushy.
And seeing that her husband is just a head, then why didn't he just cut off her head?
I don't know. That bag looked kind of big to just be a head.
It's a zombie. Doesn't
Well,
matter.
why didn't she just feed herself to him?
Because I think that I would think that was just her way of going. You know, I think she had Plan A. Plan A was, I'm going to feed my husband, and I'm going to carry him around in a bag. He doesn't weigh that much. It's all good. I'm alive, and everything's cool. I mean, maybe there was a slight little glimmer of hope in Clara that something would work out and she would live in a better, happy place. But Rick kind of switched it on her, and Plan B was, you know what? I couldn't kill this guy, so I'm going to kill myself. Just don't kill me. And I think that's the direction it went. You know.
I think it's really cool too that they showed that, because the only other person, well, you know, Michonne carried around the zombies, but not because she really had an emotional attachment to them. She knew the people, but
right.
I don't think she really cared too much. I mean, she didn't hesitate to cut their heads off in a minute, you know. So I don't think, but, you know, we saw the governor and the governor's daughter, and he held on to that hope too, like that something was going to get better. I mean, you saw, like, the whole season was the doctor trying to, you know, see how long it takes for them to turn, if they could get them not to turn, if they can remember things when they turn. So I thought it was really cool that they showcased other people out there like that are.
And going back to your zombie heads, I think Michonne did know him, and I think Michonne
So she did know him. They were her ex-boyfriends.
Yeah, or whatever they were. Yeah, I think because I remember when she saw him, she flipped out and was like,
But I don't think that she had an attachment like that. Like, she wasn't going to not survive just to be with the zombies. You know what I mean?
No. Michonne is
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And the governor wouldn't either. But the government would definitely kill people who aren't infected, or people who aren't, the governor would kill people for his daughter who's already dead. So
right.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know, it's just cool to kind of see that there's other people out there that are so, she was so alone. She was so, like, she...
Oh, yeah, she
lived with a walker to not be alone, like...
Yeah, she lost it a long time ago. I think that there was no way... Because I was thinking, I was like, okay, Rick, maybe bring her back. But then I was thinking to myself, she seems really unbalanced, and I don't think she would make... No.
Yeah, but you know what? I kind of wish they could have got her a shower before she died.
Okay. So next, let's see here. We go back to Tyrese. This is when after Tyrese comes back from the raid over at Big Lots, he comes into Karen's cell and pretty much tells her, he doesn't like going out there. Did you guys notice? I thought Tyrese was a lot macho in last season, but in the
he kind of turned into a bitch.
Yeah, like I even wrote down. I think I even wrote down what's up with Tyrese. Why so wimpy? Like he was just. I don't know if he's just doing that to get Karen in the sack, or I don't know if he. I don't know what his deal is. I don't know where all of a sudden he became. I don't know. Then we learn that Glenn and Maggie pretty much tells that she's not pregnant. And this is the same part where Glenn, of course, thanks baby Jesus for not being pregnant, and that's when they decide to tell Beth about Zach's death. So all this stuff happens. Do you think it would have been cool to see a little Maggie and Glenn running around the prison yard? No?
No.
So you two are just totally against
kill
babies in the zombie apocalypse.
No, I think they should have killed that baby. Let me tell you, I got in a brutal fight with somebody on Facebook once about this. I mean, this guy tore me to pieces, was telling me that I'm a terrible human being, that blah, blah, whatever. I'm like,
because
no,
why?
I'm not a terrible human being. Because I said that the baby should have died. Because, first of all, they were not in a place, and they're still not in a place to start rebuilding society. They're not in a place to do that. And that baby is nothing but a frickin' zombie magnet. And it's something that's in the way when things are going down.
But
I don't.
On the flip side of that, though, that could. Okay, I see your point, but in my eyes, I mean, you're absolutely right. Baby magnet, the crying and everything else. But doesn't a baby? I would look at baby as hope, as a new beginning, as happiness in a very crappy.
Possibly, but I mean, first of all, look how dirty these people are that are handling this baby. These people are filthy. This baby's getting no vaccinations. They don't have medical treatment for the baby. I mean, it's just like...
Look at the caveman babies.
Right, and caveman babies, 1 out of every 3 survived. I mean, up until the 1940s and 50s, 1 of every 3 children were surviving.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think you're absolutely right. Do I think I would smother a baby if it was born and be like, this baby? No, I wouldn't smother the baby. I would do everything in my, Glenn goes out and does their thing. I would be getting condoms left and right because, do everything to not allow yourself.
I would have shoved those pills down Lori's throat.
I think I'm with Maggie. I think that if they, try to prevent it, if you get pregnant, you know what, we'll handle it. That's the way I look at it. Glenn is more like you guys. No baby, no way, not going to raise it now. It's not a place and everything else.
It's not, they're not there yet. They're not there. I mean, they're working on it. Don't get me wrong, they're working on it. Like, they're headed in the right direction, but they are not there yet. Especially now there's all these new components of this new virus going around and shit. Hell no.
Look what happened to Lori. Lori died because of childbirth.
Right.
That's true, too. I can't believe Maggie's not thinking about that because Maggie was in the room with her when it happened.
Yeah.
Well, didn't the baby get stuck? No, the baby, she didn't die because she gave birth. She died because the baby got around and wrapped around the umbilical cord and they had to cut her open.
She died because she was hemorrhaging. She was hemorrhaging because of scar tissue from having Carl.
Yeah.
No. But I remember it was like, we got to. I think that if it would have been natural birth for Lori, she would have survived. But since they had to cut open her belly and perform an emergency C-section, blood loss would kill.
It's 50-50 chance if it's going to be an easy go birth or not an easy birth. So
no, I agree. I mean, do I want? I mean, would I be like? I would, like
zombie
I said.
Apocalypse.
And then who wants to be pregnant in the middle of a zombie apocalypse? What? I mean, talk about slowing yourself down. No, hell no.
Every girl's different.
I'd be grabbing tons of Plan B pills.
There you go. Well, you know what? And it's the zombie apocalypse, and you can do whatever you want with your belly and your baby and your zombie baby.
I'm doing chastity belts.
Gotcha. All right.
Plan B, they make you sick, Amber.
Okay, so let's see here. And then we get through that, and then of course, Beth. Hold on, I just asked Johnny G if he's team baby or no baby in this situation, and he said it depends. If it was with Maggie, hell yeah, but I agree with the girls, bro. So he agrees with you guys, but he kind of agrees with me with Maggie because I'd be like, well, Maggie. Let's see here.
But that you said baby. You're not asking. Would you?
No. I'm saying. I'm not. No, I'm not talking. No, I still agree that it's if it happens, do everything. In my world, I would be like doing everything to prevent it. But if it happens, what are you going to do? You can't have a freaking abortion unless you start punching the girl in the zombie apocalypse. So, you roll with it, and it shows that Kick-Ass, aka what's her name, Holly, little Holly, Carl's sister. Mm-hmm. Is that her name, Holly?
Yeah.
It's Holly, right? Yeah. She's surviving and doing great. Oh, Sophia, whatever, Kick-Ass. I call her Kick-Ass. She's doing great. Okay? So it can be a happy time. Amber would not have a baby. She'd be like, no way.
Hell no. I would have a baby now, more or less in the zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
Hell no.
I need to hug Amber later on. Let's see here. The next one here, we get into where Beth reacts to Zach's death when Daryl tells her. Do you think...
Like a little psycho.
Really? Do you think Beth's a little psycho? Do you think?
Yeah, Beth's definitely a little psycho.
No,
I mean, they should have just let her kill herself in the first season, because that would have been the dignified thing to do.
Whoa, do not talk about my little sister like that. Beth is awesome. She sings at the campfire when people are down, and she knows how to take care of the baby. Who took care of the baby last season? She did.
Beth.
She should get mom.
Her and Carol.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Carol took care of the baby, and Dale, come on. And Daryl, I mean, come on.
I don't know why you're hating on Beth.
I'm not hating on her. I'm just saying I think she's a little mentally unstable. I'm not saying that I blame her. I don't blame anybody for being a little mentally unstable. Nobody.
I don't think she's mental. I think me and Amy are on the same point. He's like, you know what? Hey, I got to know him, is what she said. Things happen. And you learn in the zombie apocalypse that, 1 minute you have a boyfriend, the next day, by dinner, you might not have a boyfriend.
Yeah, you cut your feelings off. Zombie apocalypse, there's no feelings whatsoever. As much as
everybody else is in a relationship, because everybody's in a relationship now. They all got boyfriends and girlfriends.
They're looking for it's companionship. It's called companionship. Yeah. I don't think boyfriend and girlfriend is companionship. I'll tell you right now, DJ Johnny G, who's listening to this show right now, he would love to be whoring around and just going and not having a girlfriend. He would love it. I think that's what it is.
If I was in the zombie apocalypse, I would.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd hook up with anybody. Whatever.
Amber,
hello, there's still diseases out there other than the zombie disease.
I mean, what does it matter? What does it matter at that point? Oh, well, I have herpes. Well, at least I'm not dead. What does it matter at that point?
So Amber in the zombie apocalypse. Hold on. DJ Johnny G, if you're listening right now, would you care to have herpes during the zombie apocalypse? Amber doesn't care if she had herpes. DJ Johnny G, I want to know, would you care about having herpes in the zombie apocalypse? And everybody else that's listening to the show, we have a chat room here and that's what we're doing. So everybody that's talking in the chat room, so we're not doing our Beth impressions.
You guys, if you're listening to us in archive, you need to join us next Monday live in the chat room.
Exactly.
So we can get your feedback. And if you want to call in, we can open the phone lines too.
I'm typing to Johnny G. Would you care if
he can hear you?
He's typing slow. He types slow. Would you care if you had herpes in the zombie Apocalypse, a zombie apocalypse.
And it says that he's typing. Now he's not typing. He says it's game on.
So that means he doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
Who would care? Would you really care? Who would care?
If it's still the zombie apocalypse, I'm still gonna have my morals.
You know what?
I might shoot you in the back. To get away, I might shoot you in the back. But I'm not gonna sleep around.
One of the things about this episode,
I do not want to have to deal with zombies and then little bumps of herpes on my penis during the zombie apocalypse. That's just
I'm just saying. The beautiful thing about this episode was the scene with him and Kara. That Kara is how every single person on that show should look. First of all, none of these girls have roots.
Whoa,
like,
whoa!
There's no way.
Showers.
There's no way. It doesn't matter if they shower. They all dye in their hair and get a manicure. I mean, there's no way that every single girl on that show is sporting a natural hair color.
Then why
2010.
I want to know how what's his name, Rick, is going to shave his beard with that electric razor.
Because they have, like, batteries that they're using to produce electricity and stuff now. Because you remember she said, I hooked up the 2 batteries to play the radios.
To play the radio.
So they have car batteries and stuff that they're using for electricity.
So
but I'm just saying that the way that she looked is how I imagine all the human race will. Shower or no shower. I mean, are they grabbing boxes of Clairol? I mean, what's going on? Like, none of these girls have roots. Like, I don't like, they're a little flesh in the mind.
Maybe it's their natural hair colors.
All of them happen to have their natural hair color. Come on, guys.
Amber, I don't know why you're so fixated on the hair. So Amber can't understand and hates the
her own issues.
Has hair issues and doesn't think it's right, but doesn't care about the herpes.
Amber, who's
keeping Carol's hair short? They don't have split ends. They don't have split ends. Their hair's like perfectly conditioned. You gotta be kidding me. I'm just saying.
They went to Big Rock, Amber.
Somehow Beth has a curling iron. I mean, what's going on?
Amber, you can curl your hair with water and rags.
Thank you,
I'm
Amy.
just saying that sometimes it'd be nice if the girls looked as raggedy as the guys, because the guys look like shit.
Anyways, moving on to the next.
Oh, wait a minute. Team Amber, really?
What happened? I'm Team Beth.
Mike's DJ friend is Team Amber during the zombie apocalypse.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess you two can get it on. And
where does this guy live? Because I'm going to be near him when all this stuff starts to go down. Because it might go down soon with the government shut down and the CDC not running. So it might really go down soon.
Y'all can have herpes together. DJ Johnny G and Team Amber.
No, Mike, we actually had, we took it off because a lot of people didn't want to answer the question, and I don't know why.
Okay.
But during our host questions, that Q&A that you filled out, that little Q&A,
right.
We had a question. Out of the hosts, which host do you want by your side in the zombie apocalypse?
And Amber was the one that was selected.
Well,
no,
Amber was selected.
I think I was only selected by 2 people.
Yeah, 2 people selected Amber. Nobody selected me because they know that I'm a shady bitch, and if you fall, I'm leaving your ass there.
Wow.
I'm all for myself, just to let you know.
Nice.
I will shoot you in the back to get away.
Jesus. Yeah, I wouldn't be around you either. Let's see here. So, and the last 2 things, this is where we, in the last couple of scenes of the last night's episode, Rick and Herschel were talking, and Rick is telling Herschel how he was worried and could still be worried that he could go as mad as Clara, and that's when Herschel kind of pats him on the back and says, "No way, you're awesome, and you came back," all that good stuff. And while all that stuff's going on, everything's fine. Everybody's going to sleep. Bob, hope he gets eaten. This is where we see Patrick, where he staggers into the bathroom, coughing, everything. Now, let me ask you a question, because a lot of people are saying this online. I saw on Twitter and everything else, even on Talking Dead. When Patrick turns on the shower, do you think he's contaminating the water by coughing into the water?
I said that earlier. I do.
So you think so?
Yeah.
So do you think it's not a water source? It's basically a bucket with a shower. So it's safe to say if someone uses that shower, or do you think that it's connected and whoever takes a shower in any of the showers there, that they're screwed?
I don't think they're all connected. I think it was one bucket per thing.
Right.
So I don't think they're all connected. Yeah. Hey, how come it never rains on this show?
Atlanta doesn't rain, does it?
Are you kidding?
Maybe they're in
It's
like
not
dry
San
season.
Diego.
We had a super rainy summer, actually.
Has it ever rained on a? I can't remember if I've ever seen it rain.
I don't think it ever has rained, but I'm saying that's
did
probably
rain.
probably what the buckets.
No.
That's probably rainwater.
It did rain. Remember season 1? The storm came, and that was washing the guts of the zombies off of them.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And it did. It did rain. It does rain in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure those are rain buckets. Because there's some, I've seen it before. There's a lot of like people that live on farms and stuff that do everything like completely eco-friendly, and they have like these buckets that will filter rainwater and stuff, and they use them.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure that's what those are. That's probably all rainwater. That's what I was asking.
So, and then of course that's when Patrick falls down on the ground, and you look at his eyes. He's got blood coming out his eyes, his ears, his mouth. So it's definitely some type of virus, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Isn't there like E. coli virus? What's that virus?
Ebola.
Ebola. Isn't that where the eyes and the blood comes out and everything else? Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
I think with Ebola though, your skin starts coming off too.
Yeah, I'd have to.
Have you ever read The Hot Spot?
No.
You should probably read it.
He acted like he had flu symptoms. So maybe it's just the flu going around, and now there's an aspect of
A flu that
going
makes your
around.
eyes bleed, though. I don't know. I mean, they're probably. You know what? I
And
bet
he
we
could
could
have
easily look it up.
started bleeding when he hit his head.
I don't know why.
No,
I don't know
no,
why
because-
you fixed on that head thing, Amy. He did not hit
Yeah,
his head.
because Amy, we already said that they fixated on the other zombies with their eyes bleeding out and stuff.
Oh, it's definitely.
So,
I don't think it's the head. I don't think the head thing. I think he just kind of collapsed.
I'm not going to listen to her anymore.
It's because I
Well.
fell in the shower and I hit my head. I know it hurt. And you
I'm
bleed.
saying that maybe that is what killed him, but he was dying anyways. Maybe that sped up the process, but he definitely was a dead man.
And DJ Johnny G said right here in the chat room, Patrick in reality would have more balls as a zombie than a human survivor.
That's very true. The kid was kind of a bitch.
Okay.
Is that kid? He's been on a lot of other stuff. I know what he was on. He was on
I don't know who he was.
He was on American Pie, the reunion.
Oh, really?
Because I was
remember.
down there while he was. Yeah, I was down there with Jennifer while he was filming, and he was on Glory Days.
Well, he's dead now, and he's
now.
probably going to kill more people.
They killed off all the good people in this episode, like the
No.
new people that I wanted to get to know more.
No, I think they killed off the right.
Yeah,
The only
they
person,
shouldn't have called
they killed everybody. They should have killed Patrick because he just seemed like a wimp and he needed to go. They killed off Zach, which he was trying to get with my girl Beth. That ain't gonna happen.
Should have died.
And the only person that they didn't hit, but I'm hoping this next episode they'll get him in that cell, is Bob, the guy that messed up the whole Big Lots, whatchamacallit. And that's pretty much it. That's all the
I
episode.
can't believe he ruined all that wine. All that beer's gone.
He did. That's it. That's
he
all
ruined
the.
the entire store. He ruined the entire store.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
tainted.
Now,
and heads
Daryl-
up to The Walking Dead using a local beer company on the show. Thought that was kind of cool.
But I think they could go back to it. They just got to go in there and kill all the other zombies, take them out like they did last time. But I mean, it's still. I mean, they didn't show the helicopter. The helicopter didn't go through the ceiling. It was just zombies, right? Oh no, the helicopter.
No, the helicopter
So the
went through.
helicopter fell.
Yeah, it did. It did. So.
But it doesn't mean there's still not things that are salvageable. I mean, they just gotta.
I'm sure there is.
A lot of the zombies died when they fell through the roof and they like splattered on the floor and shit. That was so awesome.
thought that was
Maybe
really-
Daryl in his life before the apocalypse, maybe he was a helicopter repairman, like for the
Or
army.
maybe he was the janitor at a Big Lots.
And
Oh,
now
cool.
they have this helicopter, so maybe he was the mechanic for the helicopters in the army.
Okay.
Yeah.
He definitely wasn't in the army, but
See, you do want my cousin Jason if you find a helicopter in the zombie
no, we don't want anything to do with your family if you're going to leave us behind.
because my family's gonna kick ass. We're gonna go straight to DC where my aunt
Oh,
lives.
yeah, I'm hooking.
and get in her
I'm sticking with
bunker.
DJ. I'm
Everybody,
sticking
thank
with
you
DJ.
for
What's his
tuning in
face?
to tonight's episode of The Walking Dead on Blog Talk Radio. Variety. Yes,
Wait,
thank you.
Amber's. We got 16 minutes. Amber's gonna.
I'm
spoil
joking.
it
I
for us.
just had to say something.
Okay. I do have something to say about the preview for the next week, but I am really scared that what I'm going to say is going to get me in trouble
Is it
because
already
it is
out there,
extremely.
though?
I mean, it could be if people are posting about filming. I don't have anything about what they are filming,
Right.
But I do have something about where they're filming and in correlation to the preview for the coming up season.
Okay, so then basically we could say right now this could be a serious, very serious spoiler from you, Amber. So if you don't want to know, stop it and watch the next episode.
Yes, this could be a very spoiler. Like, I hope we don't get an email from AMC, but I don't think we will. But, okay, so if you saw the preview, and this is where Amy got Macon from, because you saw Michonne point at Macon. And I don't know if anybody has played the Walking Dead game, which is brilliant game.
Are you talking about the game, or are you talking about the online, like the Xbox 360, or the
Xbox 360 one?
Yeah, I haven't.
The one that has 5 episodes?
Yeah, I haven't played it yet.
Oh, my God. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, it's so good. The start of the game, they're in Macon, Georgia. And in the comic books, Glenn is a pizza boy from Macon, Georgia. So Glenn started out from Macon or whatever. And I can tell you that I'm not saying who or what, but they are definitely getting further and further south as they're filming. I can tell you that. I'm not saying that means they're leaving the prison or the group splitting up. I absolutely have no idea about any of that. But I do know that from where they were filming to where they are now is not anywhere near each other. And they're getting closer and closer to Macon.
Okay. And I'm glad, and for someone that we said spoilers before and hasn't played the video game, I have no clue what you're talking about, which is good.
Okay, well,
if I don't, no, you don't have to go into details. What I'm saying is that if I don't know, I'm assuming. DJ Johnny G in the chat room said, "Stop teasing, just say it, shake my head." So, yeah, if you've said
That's it. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that in the show, she points at the map, she points at Macon, and I can tell you that they are starting to film further south. Yeah, they're starting to film further south. So I don't know who's headed to Macon. It might just be Michonne heading to Macon. I don't know if they're really headed to Macon. I'm just saying that was a really good tip-off in the preview for the rest of the season in correlation to where they're actually at filming right now.
and let me just... No, go ahead, Amy.
Hold on. That could just be, the crews are filming farther south in Georgia right now. But, I mean, you film an entire movie, you grab one state, and you go all over that state.
No.
Like the Hunger Games.
They have used the same sets. They have used the same sets in the same area for the last 3 years. They have not ventured out of that place. They're venturing out of that place because somebody's venturing out of that place. They're not just using the location just to use it.
I wish they would move out of the prison because I really like it when they are on the move. And they are...
they kind of showed you, too. The fence is coming down.
Yeah.
They showed you in the preview. The fence is coming down. They can't keep the fence up. The walkers are getting so many, whatever. So who's to say? I mean, if it was me, I wouldn't have stayed in Atlanta anyways. I definitely would have went further south to a town that was less populated.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you two saw all that and everything else. Coming from me and probably DJ Johnny G, we saw this guy turning and zombies taking down the fence, and it goes crazy in the prison. That's all we're looking forward to.
No, dude,
who you calling Johnny?
That scene with Michonne and her pointing at the map was like a good few seconds. Like, it was very, very, very much giving away what's about to come.
When she was pointing at the map, I'm thinking, okay, all I want is wherever Michonne's got to go, you can point all over the map you want, take out the governor. That's all. I just want to see Michonne and the governor go head-to-head, or Rick and the governor, or Daryl and the governor. There's a lot of people that want the governor dead. So
I mean, and I agree with that. And I also want to say that I'm not saying that they're doing what the game did. I'm just saying that that's what the game was. So I think it's kind of cool that that could possibly not necessarily be a crossover, but
let me ask you a question to both of y'all, and this is coming from somebody that has no idea what you guys are talking about. When you say this county, Macon County, where what's her face Michonne is going to, and Glenn is there, used to deliver pizzas, do you feel that? Are you saying, hinting, think that they might go there, and you might see another story develop, or more details for the? I mean, do you think that's the whole point of the you're going to start seeing more character development because they're going to go there and you're going to start learning different things. Are you saying that, or are you saying that there's going to be some big giant zombie war in this county and that it's going to go all crazy?
I think that
they're going to run into Glenn's
they're moving. I think they're moving. I think they're leaving. That's what I think. I think they're leaving. That's what I think. And I think that it gave us an idea as to where they're going to go next. That's what I think.
Now, I agree with Amber. I hope they're moving, so I hope they do move. But,
there's no way
if
that
it's
they're going to
somewhere
allow
where
them.
Glenn's from, if it's where Glenn's from, maybe he's got family members that are still alive or, coworkers that are still alive. I personally would like to
he knows that place. He knows that place. If he grew up there, he knows it. He knows that place. Well, anyways, that's where I grew up. I grew up there. So in the game, some of the stuff that's in the game is really creepy scary for me because they talk about, like, the Warner Robins Air Force Base and, like, different things like that. This is stuff that I grew up. I lived there for 15 years. So for me, it's, like, super, super exciting. Like, I hope they really do head there because if they start filming there and start doing some shit there, that'd be really cool because that's where I grew up. That's in my hometown. But
and then you go there with your little cameras and go get some footage for us.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try to go to filming tomorrow night.
And then you would get arrested.
I'm going to try to go to filming tomorrow night.
It's okay to get arrested. It's okay. It's okay.
Mike, you should definitely plan a trip. You should definitely plan a trip out here, and we'll go down and.
Is that North Carolina or Georgia?
Georgia.
No, it's in Georgia.
Georgia. Yeah.
And seriously, I have friends that meet the cast all the time. Like, they're, like, the nicest people ever. They come out and talk to everybody. They've been extremely hush-hush this season. We're not seeing spoilers, and we're not seeing things happening because they're not letting people see them. Like, they're telling people, yeah, you can sit over here, and we'll bring people out to meet you, but you're not going to be able to see shit that's going on. They're not letting people watch anything. They filmed in a town a few months ago, and they wouldn't let people down the street unless they lived in that town. Like, they were checking people's driver's license. That's how serious it is. Like, they're, like, dead serious, not letting anybody see what's going on. And when we were at Dragon Con...
Amber, that could be, real quick, because when we had Glenn Mazar on, the season didn't even start, and he was telling us everything that was happening on season 3. Like, everything.
Well, I mean, he wasn't in a certain way. And the thing is that they want to be in control of telling us. It's okay that Glenn told us because he's one of the showrunners. They want to be in control.
Right.
They don't, and they have done an excellent job doing that. And I live here, and I can't even tell. I have no idea what's happening on the show.
Is he a showrunner anymore? Is he still on the show?
No, he left last season.
No.
He left last season. So
okay.
What I'm saying is they do a really good job, like, keeping it a secret. They really do a good job, which is really surprising to me because, I mean, we know how it is now. Nothing's a secret. I mean, you know the plot of a movie before it even comes out because it's on the internet the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing is a secret.
They also had a lot of walkers because a lot of the walkers are, local talent, people that just auditioned to be a walker, and a lot of them started, telling stuff that was going on, too.
Well, they all have to sign contracts, too, and they can get sued like a mofo if they do decide to tell. They can get sued, like, really, really bad. You can get a lot of trouble if you do that. You have to sign, because I've done a couple of extra works. You have to sign, so you cannot tell anybody what you're doing. I mean, you can, but if it gets out and it gets back to you, you're in a lot of trouble, especially with something like The Walking Dead. Because, like I said, they're spending money and time and resources to make sure that nobody gets out spoilers. Like I said, I live here, and I could not tell you what's going to happen next week. I have no idea.
Well, then that means you're slipping, and if you have to get arrested, just do it.
I am going to go out Wednesday. I'm going to go out tomorrow or Wednesday and try to...
just tell them that you have herpes.
No.
And they won't bother you.
From the zombie apocalypse.
I am going to try to go watch... I am going to go try to see filming this week.
Well, let us know. Let us know what you get.
I need to meet the Rictator.
Yeah, I mean, with me, even if you're there and you can get some video and going, hey, Mike, what's up? I'm over here. That would be awesome. I mean, no, really. I mean, just to be anything is better than nothing without getting arrested. I mean, by all means, don't get in trouble. Don't get arrested.
Yeah, I'm not going to get in trouble.
Wherever you can go. Yeah, wherever you can
go. I'm getting business cards. What are you talking about? I'm getting interviews. Which, speaking of interviews, now that the season's on, the Walking Dead people that I talked to, when I talked to Scott Wilson at Dragon Con, I asked him for an interview, and they were not letting anybody do interviews. They would not let them even say Season 4. They were not allowed to say shit about Season 4. And he said, I'm not allowed to do any interviews I wish I could help you, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, that sucks because Glenn came on my show. Steven Yeun came on my show, and he was like, wait, Steven did an interview with you? And I was like, yeah. He was like, get a hold of my people, and I'll come on your show. He was like, if Steven came on, then I trust you. I'll come on your show.
Well,
so they're like real hush-hush. Like, even the actors aren't allowed to say nothing. Like, they can't say anything. And a lot of that is, I don't know if you guys remember last year, before Merle came back, Andrew Lincoln doesn't watch the show at all. So they had asked him, what was your favorite scene this season? And he said it has to be the scenes between Rick and Merle. And the showrunner goes, because Andrew Lincoln didn't realize that episode hadn't aired yet and that Merle was coming back. So he gave away, like, a huge spoiler. So ever since then, they've been keeping it on lock. Like, lock. You cannot find out anything that's going on.
Well, that's good.
I think we just need to have, I actually added a couple more minutes because I don't want us to get cut off. So I added a couple more minutes. But I really think that we should, for the Vampire Diaries, we have all this stuff. We go down to Georgia and we have events. Amber and I actually put together a candlelight visual for the characters that died on Season 1 and Season 2 of the Vampire Diaries.
Oh, my God.
Hey, it raised a lot of money for our charity.
It raised a lot of money for our charity, and it was really fun. And I think maybe this year we should do something for The Walking Dead.
I'm down 100%. I want nothing more than to get on the set of that fucking show.
That's all you guys. Wherever I need to help, yeah.
Would you fly out
Mike's
for it,
like,
though?
I want the next flight.
I don't know. I mean, a road trip would be cool, or fly out and everything else. That would be cool. I mean, that is, talking to my wife, we were talking about different things, flying out for shows, and I told her about Icon, for the Vampire Diaries in the originals, and of course she's like, you know what, that's all you, Vampire Diaries. I mean, she's like, but if something was going down for The Walking Dead and the cast and the filming and this and that and the location, she's like, that's something that I would so go to. So
they're having a Walking Dead convention here in a couple of weeks. Well, is it a couple of weeks, maybe?
I think it's the same weekend.
It's the same weekend as Icon? Yeah, they're having a Walking Dead convention. I know that they have a bunch of people that are going to be there, a whole bunch of people that are going to be there.
I
can't remember all who.
Get involved in. Yeah, that would be something that she would.
But also, if you did come to do like Icon, I'm not saying you will, but if you did, you guys could take some time off and go check out all the sets of The Walking Dead. There's actually Atlanta movie tours take you on a couple of the sets right there in Atlanta.
Oh, so
yeah, she's already told me she would take me on a tour, and I haven't gone to do it yet.
So that's something that'd be cool, because then I could be like, look, I could go to her Icon, and then we could take one day and go over there and go check out the stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I'm in the city and I've got Vampire Diaries and The Walking Dead, I'm definitely going to The Walking Dead stuff, and that's there's no ands, ifs, or but about it, and everything else. So just keep me in the loop and what goes on and everything else, because I think we would be. Like to go out there. I would definitely like to get pictures and video. I mean, whatever I can. And
you need to make it a whole, like a TV vacation, because we're going down to Sleepy Hollow too.
Oh,
where's that filming?
That film's in Wilmington.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea.
It's Sleepy Hollow, Witches of Easton, and Homeland Films here where I live.
Well, plus the original film's like 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
They turned my entire town into. You remember this last episode of the originals when Rebecca was in the biker bar and she killed all those vampires? That's like my home bar. That's the bar I go to all the time.
Nice. I like that.
So they're here like right down the street like all the time. That's why I never go to filming, because they're here all the time, and I know they're going to be here because they spent like $60,000 to turn Conyers into New Orleans, so they're going to be here a while. So I've kind of been taking it easy.
So everybody that's
have an
listening,
understanding.
Internet, everyone that's listening, people that are in the chat room. If you are in the chat room and you're a guest and you want to jump in on the conversation, you can go up to sign in, and you can log in with your Facebook name, Twitter name.
Oh, they can do that?
Yeah, they can. If you just go in, don't go into like sign up. Just go to like log in, and then it will take you straight to where you can actually sign in.
All right, cool. And DJ Johnny G just said, so I'm guessing Amber flies me in, smiley face, because I'm down, and I'll do what I have to do to check out the sets on The Walking Dead. There you go.
So
Amber,
everybody will fly themselves in. Amber and
you got a slave for the weekend, and it's good to go.
Hey, I just got dumped, so that may not be a bad idea. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you would. Is that for the show? Are we good or what?
We're good.
I think we're good. We're going to be back next Monday at 10 o'clock. I'm going to run down the schedule real quick. Let's start with tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Witches of East End at 7 o'clock. At 9 o'clock we have Sleepy Hollow. And then Wednesday at 9 o'clock we have The Originals. At 10 o'clock we have Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Thursday at 7 o'clock we have Arrow. And then American Horror Story. Still don't know what time American Horror Story is. Waiting for the host to get back to me on that. Friday at 5 o'clock we have The Vampire Diaries. Saturday at 8 o'clock we have Scandal. Sunday at 7 o'clock we have Sons of Anarchy. And Mike, we are dying for you to join us on that.
I will. I'm
waiting patiently.
I'm looking at the chat room real quick. Some people are popping in. Rod's listening page, another character from The Wire, joined the cast, the black bald guy. Do you know who the Rod's listening page? And then we also have the Liberal Democrat just popped into the chat room along with DJ Johnny G.
I know. I don't know the bald black guy. So are they talking about not Patrick or what's the dude that we think shady? That's shady.
Bob.
Bob. They must be talking about him because he's the only bald black guy from the show.
Okay. All right. We got another guest in here. Some people are popping in now.
People are popping in now. We're ending the show. You guys come sooner.
Rod's listening page, you got to come here earlier because we'd love to have you in here. We start at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. And, of course, Liberal Democrat. I like your name. It's cool. You got to get in here early so we all hang out. The bearded guy is the other character.
Oh, bearded guy. Hey, bearded guy.
No, he's talking about the show.
He's not talking about a guy you can hook up with.
See, right now, liberal.
It does say we have 20 minutes left. I did add some time so we could cut off. So I guess we do have time to talk about the bearded black guy. Okay, he's talking about the guy that's not the badass anymore.
Tyrone.
Talking about Tyrone.
Talking about Tyrese.
There's too many fucking characters that come and go. Sorry, I can't remember all their names. All right.
So was Tyrese the character? Was he in The Wire? Is that what?
I've never seen The Wire.
No, I haven't. I know probably Rod's listening page is going to kill us because I hear The Wire is a great series, and I always skim through it on my to-go on HBO. And Liberal Democrat, he said, just popped in, enjoying Walking Dead. It says you guys have 27 minutes left. Yes, originally it was an hour show from 9 to 10, and then Amber started talking about herpes and how she wouldn't care if she had herpes in the zombie apocalypse. And then
I said that I would have herpes, and that's the only reason why we went an hour over.
Exactly. So she was describing each herpes bump.
Okay, I thought Tyrone and his sister were actually husband and wife.
Tyrese.
I thought Tyrese and his sister were actually husband and wife. So there you go.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah. So the show got extended. Usually it's about an hour, but we got
nothing else is on Monday night. So I imagine this is going to happen pretty often.
So everybody, the guest 12747, Liberal Democrat, and Rod's listening page. Make sure you join us when it first starts. So then it's pretty much about an hour and a half show. So okay, so here he goes.
I'm gonna go look up this guy because I want to put a
Coleman is the bearded guy's real name. Okay, good. Yeah, and the crazy thing, Liberal Democrat, is she's been calling him Tyrone this entire season and last season, and
she has.
It's Tyrese.
All right, guys, I'm going to be here for just a minute, but I'll be right back.
Liberal Democrat.
Okay, be right back.
He's helping you, Amy.
Thank you. Because now I know I'm still going to call him Tyrone because it's just sticked with me. but I have these two nuts to.
That's a very racial name, Tyrone. I don't know why you're going that way. It's very racial. I'm offended.
I called him Tyler at the beginning of the show.
I'm joking, Amy. I don't care. Turtles Zero, how you doing? They just walked into the chat room and they just left. All right, so everybody that's listening,
should announce that people could log into the chat room by going up to the login.
Yeah, next time we need to do that. And everybody that's listening to the archive show, when we do these live shows, the recaps, The Walking Dead is on Monday nights. If you go to the VRO.com, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see all the shows that we recap. Different hosts we're all on and everything else. But if you're listening to the archive, we do have a live chat room, so you can go in there and chat. And I think next week, maybe, Amy, we can open up the lines. I know you were talking about that for next week.
Yeah, I think we should. If we get, because we had a lot of people come into the show tonight to chat with us and stuff. So if we get the chat room full and we'll open up the phone lines for people to call in, I think it will be a great show. So definitely follow us on Twitter. That would be a great way to keep up with what shows we're doing and what days we're doing our shows. So you can follow us at Twitter at the VRO.
Yep. Everybody that's listening, at
our
the VRO.
Yeah.
Or
our Facebook. Yeah, and our Facebook is facebook.com/Variety Radio Online. Just one big old word, Variety Radio Online.
So there we go.
I guess we can give out our Twitter names, but Amber's gonna have to be on the phone line to give her Twitter name out because I know I'll screw it up.
Y'all, my name is Pirate to the Gnaw.
Pirate to the Gnaw, y'all. Do you hear that?
Pirate
okay, hold to the Gnaw, but Pirate.
Liberal Democrat just said, "Girl power, love Michonne." I 100% agree with you, Liberal Democrat.
100%.
Michonne is the baddest bitch in the ATL there in the Walking Dead.
She's definitely the one I'd want to be with. When are her and Rick gonna hook up?
No, no.
Me with that shit.
They're not.
There's a sexual eruption about to go on right there.
Okay, let's ask the chat. Let's ask the chat room right now. See, we've got people in there chatting, and then if you're listening to archives, you can Twitter us your answer. Do you think Rick and Michonne should hook up?
They are going to. There's no should. They're going to.
No.
Yeah.
Rick should hook.
No, I don't think so.
It's definitely going to happen. Mark my words.
That DJ Johnny G says Michonne is getting sexier with every sword swing she does.
I wish Carol would just let her hair grow out.
I'd tap Michonne in the zombie apocalypse.
Amber, you would tap anything in the zombie apocalypse. You made that very clear. You made that very clear. If anybody wants to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Mike the Movie Guy. You can check out my blog, I Watch Mike. Instagram, Mike the Movie Guy. That is me. I don't know what the pirate. She's got something in her mouth, like usual. She's got something in her mouth.
I'm eating a scone.
She's eating a scone. Okay, here we go. Look. A liberal Democrat says still hurt over Michael Rooker, known as Merle, on the show being killed off. Yes, I agree. I loved Merle and all his racism.
Merle is amazing.
He said,
Rooker is amazing.
Yeah, liberal Democrat said wanted him and Michonne to hook up.
Nope.
No. It wouldn't have happened.
It's going to be Rick
Merle's
and
a
Michonne.
racist.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think Merle deep down inside wasn't. I mean, he was turning good towards the end. I think that he probably would have hooked up with her or Andrea. Merle would have hooked up with anything. He's kind of like Amber.
Yeah, I'm the Merle of the group.
Yeah, there you go. There it is.
Minus the racism.
It's been said. Amber is the Merle of the VRO.
No, seriously, it's really true because I'd be the one that was like, dude, I'd be popping pills and doing cocaine and drinking beers too. I mean, why not? Everybody I love is dead.
Okay, you need a hug. Rod's listening page says Merle's brother is cool. Hell yes, Daryl Dixon is the man.
Really cool.
I don't know what would happen if we lost Daryl.
I think a lot of fans would be upset if they killed Daryl off.
I think that we don't have to worry too much about losing him because Daryl was not a comic book character. Daryl was a character that they built, and I think that they would kill off a character they haven't built before they would one that they've built.
I don't know about that. I think Daryl is just because you could flip that around. You could say Daryl wasn't even the comics. Daryl was made up. He's easily knocked off, even though he's a fan favorite. But that was.
I think he's a show favorite. Period.
I think
the producers, everybody. I think that they all love what they've turned him into.
But imagine if they killed him, they would talk for it forever.
They would talk about it forever, but it would also kill the ratings of the show.
I don't know.
I think that Rick and Daryl are two characters that you could not get rid of, and that show survived.
I don't know.
I don't know if it would kill the ratings, because I think a lot of people would continue watching just to see what would happen. How's the group's going to, not be as strong as they are? Because honestly, I think Daryl brings in most of their strength. He's the one that's going out hunting. And,
as long as they don't kill Herschel, I don't care what they do.
We'll see what happens. Liberal Democrat says Melissa McBride plays Carol on the show. Love how she teaching the kids to use a knife instead of school books. At least she's not teaching the kids how to twerk. LOL. That is good. That is true. At least the kids aren't. There's no Miley Cyrus in that library. Rod's listening page says, what do you think of the governor's transformation? What do y'all think about the governor's transformation?
From the last season.
Well, I'm assuming, what Rod's listening page means is, I'm guessing like when we first meet him and he's kind of, and then now he's, when he shot all those people in the last season, that definitely pushed him over the,
He didn't, there was no transformation for me. When
really?
When we first met
I
the
didn't trust him
governor,
from the minute he was on the show.
I didn't trust him at all. I was sitting here, I was like, no, no. So there was
no. And I didn't trust him because Andrea trusted him because she was thinking with the wrong body part.
Okay, we're not talking about trusting. Okay, we all know that the governor wasn't trustworthy, but do you think that the governor wasn't as crazy and wasn't as angry and had issues until Michonne killed his daughter?
Oh, no, definitely not. I think that made him snap for sure.
No,
he was crazy. He was crazy.
He kept his daughter locked up in a closet.
No, he was definitely crazy, but that made him snap.
Walker's head. The dude was already crazy.
He was crazy, but they're all crazy. They're all crazy. He's no crazier than Rick. He's no crazier than Rick.
That wasn't the first time that he killed and turned on a whole group of people. Remember, he killed all of the army guys too.
No. The governor is not a good person. And Rod's listening page says not so much physically, but emotional change. I think he definitely changed. I don't get me wrong. I think he was definitely, from a scale 1 to 10, the beginning we met him, in my opinion, he was a 3, and every episode it was like 4, 5, and then when he lost his daughter, that just, and then with the night,
and he lost his daughter, and losing his daughter meant that he lost his control. Because he had a good thing going, and then the camp kind of came in and locked things up. When they killed
his daughter,
kind of their fault. They should have left him alone. Andrea got in her own mess.
When they killed his daughter, I think that was the only thing he had left of a piece of him.
Of his old life.
Right, and then once he lost that, then it was like, okay, there's no turning back, and screw it. Now I'm going to go crazy.
Isn't that DJ Wicked that just came in?
So, liberal Democrat said he lost his daughter and his eye. I think losing that eye pissed him off a little more. Just saying. It could be though. My daughter was already dead, and then I lose a good eye. I would be upset. I'd be pissed off more about my eye. That's just me.
You would be pissed. Well, yeah. Your daughter's already a zombie, so she's already
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, if my daughter was alive and I lost an eye, of course, I'd be upset about my daughter. But if my daughter's a zombie, I'm going to be upset about my good eye getting smashed by Michonne's knife. So there you go. Coolio.
No, I don't think there was no transformation for me. He was already evil. He was already a mental case.
Got it.
That's what I thought. Any more questions before we close up tonight? Seeing we got a chat room full of people now.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it. Real quick, Rod's where you at? Rod and Liberal, hitting those guys up on the chat room. If y'all listening to the archives, because we got people in the chat room. Where are y'all from? Just where are y'all from? Because I'm thinking maybe.
I love how you type it out, Mike, and then you're talking at the same time.
It's the same thing. So,
yeah.
So there you go. So Liberal is from California. Liberal says he's really mad because the government shut down and he can't pack a health care plan. So Liberals from California, Maggie Surprise, also the change. Maggie surprised also the change of the governor. And then CT, was that Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
That's on y'all side of town of the world.
Yeah.
Coolio. All right. Well, then, much love to California and Connecticut. I think it's wrapping up, right? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up.
And DJ Wicked stepped into the chat room as well.
That's
DJ
what I
Wicked.
said earlier, and you laughed at me.
I didn't even hear you. I can barely hear.
You're gonna have to start paying attention. Maybe
there you go. I can hear you now.
Higher.
We can
my
hear you.
My mic was a little higher. I got upset, so I was yelling, and so I moved my mic up, and now.
Got it. So DJ Wicked, yes, he stepped in, and he was actually one of the guys that actually submitted his little question.
He's the one the finger licking.
Yes, he was the one that got into detail that Amber liked. That he kind of broke it down. So there you go.
Like that.
Thank you very much, Liberal. Bye, guys. Great show. Cool. We'll be back next Monday, right? Next Monday night.
Yes.
Here.
Next Monday. And, God, I think this might have to be a longer show than an hour.
Because California, Liberal, you're in California. That means when it's 9 o'clock on my time zone here in Texas, it's 7 o'clock. So hopefully you can make it on. And then Connecticut, I'm assuming, is the East Coast, is you guys.
Yeah.
Cool. Rod listening pages. We'll catch you earlier next time, definitely. And also, guys, if you do see if you do watch the show, I already lost them. Darn it! I was going to tell them to email us their little reviews on the emails. DJ Johnny G, DJ Wicked in here right now, so I'm sure these guys will
Twitter it out, and then the VRO will retwitter what you want to say, and then hopefully they start following us. And
Coolio. So I already gave out my Twitter, my blog, iWatchMike.com. I think Amber was saying something, but she had something in her mouth, and then you were going to let everybody know your stuff.
Yeah. Well, Amber's Pirate to the Gnaw. I am Amy VRO. Follow the VRO, at the VRO. Our website.
Everything. On Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, everything is Pirate to the Gnaw.
Yes, for Amber. Variety Radio on Instagram, Variety Radio on Facebook, the VRO on Twitter. Our website is Variety Radio on VarietyRadioOnline.com, or the VRO is going to take you to the same website. And, yeah, that's it.
Coolio.
Okay. Now, what do? Do we just say bye?
I think we say goodbye because that's it, and I got to get my beauty sleep. And Rod's listening page, I just emailed you right now. Everybody that's listening, if you once you watch The Walking Dead on Sundays, everybody, listen to the archive, and you guys listen in this chat room. Once you watch your episode, email us at MikeTheMovieGuy@gmail.com, or what's your email for the show?
Variety Radio. No, it's VRO@thevro.com.
Cool.
And if you go straight over to just the website, we actually have a little form there where you can just write in stuff, and it goes straight to the email.
Cool. So my guys, DJ Wicked, DJ Johnny G, you guys know my email, MikeTheMovieGuy@gmail.com. As soon as y'all are done watching the show, write a couple of lines, your thoughts. We'll read them on there, and we'll get into it. DJ Johnny G says goodbye, and I'm loving this show. There you go. I don't love you, but thank you for listening.
Mike loves all of you. He loves the internet.
Bye.
You were all his baby children.
Yes, Freddy Krueger. That's it. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.